We got some excited Gamecock fans out here right now on the streets of New York City. They have taken over.
You know, we always sign up to win games.
It's a blessing, and I'm just happy for the guys.
This has been an amazing run that we don't want to end.
And it's absolutely ridiculous the way that we play against teams that are supposed to be better than us.
And he's going to the Final Four! Final Four, baby!
You know, we're going to the Final Four, man.
Yeah, the countdown is on for both the USC men and women as they try to punch their tickets into the championship games in the NCAA tournament. Good evening and thanks for being with us for this special Gamecock edition of News 19 at 7. I'm J.R. Berry.
And I'm Darcy Strickland. The USC women will play Stanford in 30 minutes. The fans are there in Dallas to support the team. And we begin our team coverage tonight with Joe Cook, who is live tonight in Dallas, where the Fan Fest is going on.
Yes, the fans are finally into the American Airlines Center to see the Gamecocks take on Stanford. And if you're one of the teams here in the Final Four, that means you're one of the best in the country. And that's probably because you're playing some great defense. And the Gamecocks, they are doing just that. In their NCAA tournament run, no opponent has scored more than 68 points on them. On the other side, Stanford, they allowed that one time, their one-point win, 76-75 over Notre Dame. Now, the Gamecocks, like they've been doing all year, they're going to rely on their game plan and their defense. Kayla Davis and Alicia Gray, they're making their first appearance in the Final Four as members of South Carolina. They're relying on their defense and that game plan now more than ever.
I think we just have to play our game, honestly. Stanford, they're playing really, really well right now, and I think, you know, what was it, 80 assists on 105 field goals is what they're doing in the tournament right now. So that's pretty crazy. They're sharing the ball well, they're shooting the ball well, and you know they're getting scoring from a lot of different players and production from a lot of different players. So. You know, we've been playing really well on the defensive end, and I think that's something we're definitely going to have to continue.
What's the focus now? You know, big stage, of course, every game, every possession is important. I guess, has the focus even, you know, ratcheted it up, or has it kind of been the same?
I mean, it's been the same. I mean, we're pretty much doing the same thing that got us here, and so far that's been successful. I mean, the coaches, they always come with a good game plan, scouting, and I mean, it's up to us to follow it, because so far, like, the coaches have been doing a great job, and it's helping us win games.
About a half hour away from game time, and fans are continuing to come into American Airlines Center. I'm going to follow suit and grab a seat for what should be a big game. You can follow me on Twitter at Joe Cook Sports for updates. Reporting from Dallas, Joe Cook, News 19, WLTX. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Joe, thanks. USC fans who couldn't make the trip to Dallas are heading out to watch the game at a number of places, including, of course, Columbia's Vista.
And that's where we find our Lauren Thomas, who's at the Carolina Ale House with more. Lauren.
Out here at the Carolina Ale House, just 30 minutes away from tip-off. Fans are starting to pile in here, getting ready for this matchup with the Gamecocks and Stanford. They played Stanford before and have lost to Stanford before, but we're hoping that they'll be able to pull it off and make it to the final game on Sunday. This is the second time that the women have gone to the Final Four in the past 3 seasons, so it's pretty exciting for the Gamecocks, but they're used to this. But one thing that's pretty cool is just seeing all the fans coming out here tonight, and this is a popular spot to be at. SEC Network was out here throughout the entire day, just kind of pumping up the crowd before the game and everything. But this is just pretty interesting just to see all the Gamecock fans coming out, because this is the first time that they've seen both the men and women's teams in the Final Four. But a lot of excited fans out here at the Carolina Ale House, and we're hoping to hear from a few of them tonight as the game kicks off. But I'll send things back to you in the studio.
Lauren Thomas, live for us in Columbia. Lauren, thank you. We now head from Dallas to Phoenix, Arizona, where the USC men are gearing up to take on Gonzaga tomorrow night.
That's right. Sports Director Reggie Anderson joins us now with the latest on the team as they get ready for this Final Four showdown. Reggie.
All right, thank you very much. Yeah, just across the street from the University of Phoenix Stadium. Also over at Gila River Arena, which is right there just next to us. The Phoenix Coyotes are in town tonight. Of course, last night we saw the Suns in action with Tyrone Corbin. He's a Columbian native. He's a Suns assistant. We did a story on him last night. You can check that out on our website, WLTX19. Thanks to the Suns for their hospitality as well. But yes, basketball, college hoops, the biggest stage, the Final Four right here in Phoenix. And earlier today, the Gamecock men on the court for their open practice. Now, they had a closed practice at Grand Canyon University. That's when the real work was done, shall we say. That's when they really got after it. But the open practice allows them to go out and shoot and do a few dunks and take a few jumpers and do that in front of an audience who comes in and checks them out. It's open to the public, open to the media. They do this throughout the entire NCAA tournament. It's really a great chance to kind of interact a little bit and also get the fans excited about the game. Of course, it's hard not to get excited about the Final Four. It's in Phoenix for the first time ever. In fact, it's the first time in 22 years, I believe, it's west of the Mississippi. But here in Columbia, you've got two guys, Midlands natives, who've played a big role in the Gamecocks' resurgent. Justin Mackey out of Irmo and Spring Valley's P.J. Dozier.
He was a McDonald's All-American at Spring Valley High School, and when P.J. Dozier signed with the Gamecocks, it was a public declaration that he wanted to be a part of rebuilding the program in a big way. Irmo's Justin Mackey was already on board, and together these two Columbia natives are in the Final Four.
Oh man, it's amazing. It's a dream come true, man. You know, growing up in the city of Columbia and having this great opportunity to, you know, make history with this great group of guys, with this great coaching staff. You know, it's a dream come true.
It means a lot to me, man. It really does. You know, I can remember being a little kid, jumping for joy when Gamecock basketball won, crying my heart out when they lost. So, you know, now to be a part of history and to be a part of something that's making so many people around Columbia and so many people around the state happy it means a lot to me.
Both players are second-generation Gamecocks, so that means they've got a permanent link to Gamecock history.
We knew, you know, earlier in the year when we all came together, us and you know, the older guys that played here a while ago. You know, we all came together and you know, had a little event and kind of took it in and discussed about, you know, the history that we can make. You know, so it's just exciting to be able to say that we are making history.
So my dad's not really a guy that likes to talk about what he did, so you know, he wouldn't really talk about the 97 championship team too much unless I really asked. And then kind of before it, you know, me and him didn't ever really talk about Gamecock history before him. Me and my granddad would a little bit because my granddad, of course, had been around. He's from Columbia as well. So, but I actually didn't know we hadn't won an NCAA game that long. I didn't know that at all until, you know, we actually won one and got in the tournament and started hearing about it a little bit. But you know, I studied it a little bit because I've always loved the Gamecocks, you know, players through the history and stuff like that.
Yeah, of course, Justin's father, B.J. Mackey, the all-time leading scorer at South Carolina. Of course, he played under Eddie Fogler. And then you had P.J.'s father, Perry Dozier Sr., played under George Felton. So both Felton and Fogler went to the NCAA tournament, but again, as history shows, they weren't able to win that first NCAA tournament game since 1973. But Justin and PJ, they're on a team that, again, has obliterated all that frustration in the NCAA tournament. 44 years without a win, and they get 4 in 2 weekends, and if they get 6 in 3 weekends, they're national champions. JR, Darcy?
Really looks like these sons are living their father's dreams.
You know what? I remember Terry Dozier.
Yeah.
I remember all the older Gamecock players, and so you know what? This is great for them as well.
Absolutely,
you know, just to see at least their kids and then the other Gamecocks step forward with what they're doing.
I think the only thing better than accomplishing something is watching your child accomplish it. You know, so great for them. Yeah. Our team coverage continues now with Andrea Mock, who is also in Phoenix. She is at Fan Fest. And Andrea, I know you have not had a hard time finding Gamecocks.
No, and as a matter of fact, let me show you the cutest little Gamecock I found. Everybody say hi. Hi, go Gamecocks. This little Gamecock's name is Ellen. She's how old, Mom? 8 months old, and she's the cutest Gamecock I've ever ever seen. All right, you know, when a News 19 viewer asks for something, we like to give you what you've asked for. So, everyone was saying, why didn't I dunk? Why didn't I dunk? Well, I'll tell you, I didn't dunk it the last time you saw me because I don't know how. So we decided to ask an expert. Alex English, Gamecock legend, is with us. For starters, how excited are you to see your team here in the Final Four?
Well, I'm very excited. You know, there's a lot of Gamecock fans showed up, and that's a great thing. You know, it's going to be a lot of people out here cheering for the Gamecocks tomorrow, so I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it.
You know, Frank Martin did so much with this program, Alex. He's really transformed it, and his passion, I think, really transfers to the players. When you were a player, did you feel that from the coach? Is that the way it works?
Yes, you know, I played for a very passionate coach as well, Doug Moen at the Denver Nuggets, and, you know, he was very much like Frank. He was very vocal, very passionate, and, you know, he left it all out on the floor. He was one of those coaches that you enjoyed working with, but once the game was over, he was a nice guy.
All right, we're at FanFest right now. We are in the Oreo Dunking Challenge. How tall are you?
I am 6'8".
At 6'8", did you dunk?
Every now and then. I was a jump shooter.
A jump shooter? Okay, what is it that makes a good dunk?
Well, you got to be able to palm the ball, first of all.
Oh, really?
Yes, you got to be able to hold it with one hand. Okay. So with one hand, you can stretch out, and you can slam, you can go down. It gives you more length. And then you've got to be ready to go off of the left foot with the right hand and go up as high as you can. And then you got to throw it down like what?
Get mad at it. You got to get mad at it.
Bad. You got to be bad.
All right, you think I can do it?
Yeah, let me see you do it. Come on.
Right,
come on.
I can't palm it.
Well, then you can hold it with two hands.
I can't palm it. I'm going to try for a dunk anyway, though. Ready?
Try it with two hands. Use two hands. Oh, very, very good.
Thank you so much. That'll be my only dunk for the rest of my life. Thank you so much. All right, what's your prediction for the game tomorrow?
Well, I think we're going to win by 6 tomorrow, and then we're going to play North Carolina in the finals.
All right, Alex English, thank you so much. We love having him a part of the WLTX family. We're honored. We're going to work on my dunk, get some pointers from these kids. That kid was very good, and send it back to you guys for now.
I tell you what, if we could slow-mo that dunk. Just slow-mo it.
I saw a toddler dunk right before her. So, you know, that's my girl and all, but there was a toddler that dunked right before Andrea.
Well, coming up next, some former USC women basketball players are speaking out about this special season that the women are having. We're going to hear from them in just a moment. All right, welcome back. News 19 had a chance to sit down with Dr. Martha Parker Hester, a Gamecock Athletics Hall of Famer who played basketball from '85 to '89, leading the Gamecocks to the NCAA tournament 3 of the 4 years she played there.
And we talked with her about what it will take to beat Stanford tonight.
Tara Vanderveer, great coach, been there forever. Truly admire her and what she's done at Stanford. The kids are very disciplined, very fundamentally sound. They've got a great inside-outside game. The shooters are unbelievable. But we do too. You know, our shooters are coming around. Kayla Davis, goodness gracious. You know, and Asia's really coming into her own as far as taking control of a game and playing under control and playing with the gifts that she's been given and just taking it to a whole nother level. We knew what she had, but it's fun to see her kind of come into her own and control a game. So I think, you know, learn from what we've learned before. Look at film, you know, but play our game. Use our game plan and execute it to the best of our abilities.
We also had a chance to talk with Khadijah Sessions. She played under Dawn Staley and graduated just last year.
Yeah, Joe Cook caught up with her in Dallas to talk about this special season.
Joe Cook here with Khadijah Sessions, one of the many great USC basketball players to come under Dawn Staley. And Khadijah, just talk about this team and being in the Final Four. How do you think this team is kind of preparing themselves, you know, for this national semifinal?
Well, one, I want to say congratulations to Coach Staley and the women's basketball team for, you know, making it to Dallas. That's always her goal, is to make it to the Final Four and obviously win a national championship. But getting here is a big deal. So I want to congratulate them. But I think they're playing playing very well right now. You know, no Elena Coates right now, but you know, it opens up the inside for those guards like Kayla Davis to you know, put on the show like she's putting on the show. So you know, I'm just very excited for these girls and happy that they're in Dallas.
And you mentioned Kayla Davis, 3 straight games with 20 or more points. Is there anyone else that's kind of shown out during this NCAA tournament that's kind of caught your eye?
I think I'm going to go with Kayla Davis. She's been playing phenomenal. She's been doing what we were expecting her to do in the beginning of the year. She's been playing phenomenal, like she's been playing at Georgia Tech. She took Georgia Tech and brought it to South Carolina, and that's what we've been waiting for. And I'm glad she's doing it in the time of need, which is the NCAA tournament. She led this team to a Final Four, as you've seen when they played Florida State, and hopefully she can take them to the national championship game.
Sounds good. What do you think is going to be key for this Gamecock crew, if you will, you know, going up against Stanford?
Stanford's a really big team, really fundamental, really well coached. Coach Tower is a really a good coach, but we have to just play our basketball game. Listen to Coach Staley and the staff. I'm sure they have a game plan for Stanford. Once we execute the game plan, and you know, I think if we come out as confident as we did against Florida State, I have no worries.
And one thing that I noticed about this team, they're so loose. They're having fun out here. I mean, what is that? What's that come from? You know, it's a big game, a lot of pressure, a lot of expectations, but they're having fun line dancing and everything.
It starts with Asia Wilson. She's really been leading this basketball team. She had to take on a different role, which is being the top captain, the top leader of this team, and she's really been doing a really good job. And like you said, they're having fun, and that's what basketball is all about, is having fun. And especially in this time of year, you just want to have fun and make sure everybody is playing at the best basketball and have fun doing it.
And as an alum, as someone who's played for the program, I guess how proud are you to see this group of girls, you know, make it to their Final Four?
I'm extremely excited. This is another reason why I'm here in Dallas. I have to just stay with them. I feel like I want to play. I want to be a part of it still, and I am still a part of it some way, somehow. But I'm just so excited for them. They've been working so hard. They had so many different obstacles this season. You know, losing against Duke and losing Tennessee, and questioning if you're going to outright win the SEC, and then they go and win the SEC tournament 3 years in a row. I just believe in Coach Staley and her staff. They're amazing, and the girls really are bought into winning right now.
Well, thank you, Khadijah, for taking out your time and telling us about Gamecock basketball. Hopefully, they can pull off the big win over Stanford and advance to the national championship game. For Khadijah Sessions, I'm Joe Cook, right here on News 19 WLTX.
All right, Joe, Khadijah, thank you so much. Obviously, I follow Joe on Twitter. You should too, but I also follow Khadijah, and she has some really interesting commentary throughout the game, so it's worth the follow.
If she could lace them up and get out there, she would. She would, indeed. All right, still ahead for you. Which coast is better for basketball, the East Coast or the West Coast? We're taking that question to the streets in just a moment. All right, welcome back to our Gamecock Madness special. The men's Final Four is made up of 2 East Coast teams, 2 West Coast teams, so we took to the streets to see which coast is better at basketball.
Powerhouse like UNC Chapel Hill coming to this, who's already won national championships before, and Final Four is nothing new to them. They also have newcomer USC, so I really feel like it's going to start becoming a normal thing.
We got that playground game all around. We can do everything, basic fundamentals. East Coast basketball, man, it's kind of skipped to my little basic play.
East Coast basketball is better. It's just better to watch.
I prefer the West Coast because we play fast basketball, and we also know how to play pretty good defense.
I gotta say East Coast because, I mean, you have South Carolina, obviously, you have Florida, Duke, North Carolina, and you have all these big power schools in the ACC and the SEC.
And Gonzaga, the Bulldogs, are from, of course, the West Coast. They're out of Washington State.
So it really will be an East Coast, West Coast matchup. So we'll know at the end of that game which one's better.
But again, they're far away on that West Coast.
Yeah, so with that being said, News 19 has started a competition with our sister station in Spokane, Washington, the same location as Gonzaga. So we've asked who will win on Saturday. To vote for South Carolina, all you have to do is use the hashtag #ForeverToThee. The team with the most votes will get bragging rights, so use the hashtag as many times as you can between now and tomorrow afternoon. And as things stand right now, the Gamecocks are winning big time, 87 to 13%. Our Washington station is already crying foul, saying USC is a much bigger school than Gonzaga.
Aw, really?
I'm sorry
It's
that we're winners.
It's a friendly, sound like loser talk.
Yes, loser talk. That's
Yeah.
what I called it earlier today.
All right, still ahead now. The NCAA tournament, of course, full of some rich history and fun facts. We've got some of that for you in a moment.
The NCAA tournament is full of rich history and some interesting fun facts. We have come up with a list that starts with the Gamecocks.
Ahead of the Final Four, South Carolina got 0 votes in the preseason Associated Press and coaches poll. That had the Gamecocks below nearly half the Ivy League. Dennis Ennis of Oregon, he's the oldest player in the Final Four. He's 25. The Final Four scoreboard is 70 feet across, and it's the equivalent to a 3,000 square foot house. With 76,000 fans inside University of Phoenix Stadium, this will be the second largest capacity for a Final Four ever. 35 different teams have won the NCAA tournament, but UCLA leads all schools with 11 titles. The Connecticut Huskies are the only school to win his and her national championships in the same year. It happened in 2004 and then again in 2014. The lowest seed to ever win the NCAA tournament? Villanova as a number 8 seed in 1985. 3 players have won the NCAA championship as a player and as a coach. Joe B. Hall, Bob Knight, and Dean Smith.
And of course, Dean Smith coached the North Carolina Tar Heels. He took over a program once held by Frank McGuire, who coached the South Carolina Gamecocks. So if we meet those guys, if we win and they win, and we meet in the championship game,
that's
some history there.
Exactly. That's some incredible history. So the Huskies were an 8 seed and the Gamecocks were a 7 seed. So that's why. Okay.
All right.
Thank you, JR. Fun facts.
There is more Gamecock madness when we come back.
I've always felt that experience helps to get back. Experience doesn't help the game you're playing. The game you're playing is a game. And how you manage yourself day to day allows you to be prepared to succeed when the game starts.
The road to the championship continues tomorrow for the USC men as they take on Gonzaga and Phoenix. Thanks for being with us for our special Gamecock Madness coverage. I'm Darcy Strickland.
And I'm J.R. Berry. Sports Director Reggie Anderson is live in Phoenix tonight where all the action is going to be taking place. Reg?
All right, thank you very much. You know, coming into this season, the USC men's basketball team was predicted by the media to finish in the lower half of the SEC. And the players at the time said, well, they don't really worry about it a whole lot, but they've been singing a different tune here in Phoenix.
Take a look at the final SEC team playing in the Final Four weekend. A Gamecock team that in the preseason was picked by the media to finish 8th in the conference.
Oh, were we? I didn't know that.
That just shows how smart we are.
Right. You know, we don't even really pay too much attention to that. You know, we definitely saw that, you know, before the season started. And, you know, that kind of just gave us a chip on our shoulder to come out and prove everyone wrong.
We were pretty ticked off about that. When that came out, we were pretty upset. And for them, you know, not to include Sindarius and Dwayne and some of those accolades individually as well kind of ticked us off a little bit. And, you know, we just played with a chip on our shoulder all season. And, you know, we felt like we were better than the 8th seed. I mean, finishing 8th place in the SEC, we felt like we were a better team than that, and we've shown that.
Yeah, the Gamecocks got motivation from that slide and the fact that Dwayne Notice and Sindarius Thornwell were left off the preseason All-SEC teams. But they got the ultimate measure of revenge by proving the critics wrong, and now a 7th-seeded Gamecock team is 2 wins away from a national championship.
The outside considers it a Cinderella story, but you know, we always felt like we could compete with everybody. We always, you know, felt like we could compete with the best in the country, and you know, us entering the tournament was our chance of showing everybody that we could compete. But you know, I would consider it as a Cinderella story just by the seeding, and nobody expected this from us.
All right, up next, something you haven't even seen.
No, I haven't seen this.
Chuck Ringwalt, who's in Phoenix, took a photograph of inside the stadium where the game is being played. This is in Phoenix, and we're going to just go slide around a panoramic view this basketball court inside a football stadium.
And I think some people may be confused that we keep saying stadium, and it's basketball is played in an arena, but they've turned this stadium into a basketball arena.
Right, and therefore they can get a lot more fans in there for sure. And we're just panning around here. If you've never seen what this looks like inside, I mean, it's not every day that you take a NFL football stadium and turn it into a basketball court for the Final Fours. But this is just a remarkable photograph that our Chuck Ringwalt took earlier today. So this is where all the action is going to be taking place. Tomorrow night, of course, that first game, 6:09, the Gamecocks taking on Gonzaga. And then 40 minutes after the completion of that game, we'll have game 2 of the Final Four, the Oregon Ducks taking on the North Carolina Tar Heels.
Of course, WLTX is your station to stick with because you can only see that game right here.
Yeah, a lot of fans going to be watching. And speaking of the fans, more and more are showing their support for the Gamecocks, including 2nd District Congressman Joe Wilson.
He took to Facebook earlier today to make a friendly wager with Washington Representative Kathy Rogers. Rogers is putting up a bottle of wine against a bottle of mustard barbecue sauce from Wilson.
And the congressman is pulling double duty with a wager with a California lawmaker as the women prepare, or they are currently, I should say, taking on Stanford. So a number of bets out there from one of the well-known politicians in our state.
Columbia Mayor Steve Benjamin and Spokane Mayor David Condon have agreed to participate in a fun challenge on the game.
That's right. If the USC men win, I don't know if I like this bet. If the USC men win, and the USC flag will fly over City Hall for a day in Spokane, Washington. But if Gonzaga wins, then the Bulldogs flag, and this is the part I don't like, it's going to fly at the Capital City, at the Town Hall, City Hall, for a day. So, you know, we're just going to have to wait and see.
Don't worry about it.
Happens.
We're not going to see it. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Exactly.
They'll have our South Carolina flag for a day. Boise, Idaho Zoo has one of their Madagascar hissing cockroaches picking the winners in the Final Four matchups. As you can see, he appears to favor the Gamecocks. I don't know if he has some palmetto bug cousins over here, and that's why he went towards the Gamecocks.
We're going with cockroaches now. Look, I mean, it's like the cockroaches on Oregon. It was on North Carolina. It's going back and forth.
Yeah.
All right, look, let's just see this.
Watch
Put
it one
down.
more time.
If it ends up being a championship game between the Gamecocks and Oregon.
Right.
If it ends up being that.
Is going with his cousins in the Palmetto State, the Palmetto Bugs.
So if that's the championship matchup, if we play Oregon.
According to this hissing cockroach.
The cockroach says we're going to win.
Yikes.
Until you turn the lights on and then he scatters. And he's gone. Right?
That's what happens.
Something like that.
That's exactly what happens.
Don't forget, it is a big weekend for both the men's and women's basketball teams, and we're going to be on your side with complete coverage. Once you take a look at your screen there, our crews are in Phoenix and they are in Dallas. You can follow them on Twitter. They're constantly sending updates. Like right now, Joe Cook is on Twitter. I promise you, he is on. If you're not around a TV set, or if you're watching now, and then you can't be around the TV set, say in an hour or so, and you want to know what's going on, I promise you, Joe Cook is all over it. He is tweeting out every few moments from the big game with South Carolina taking on the Stanford Cardinal tonight. So if you're out and about and you want to see who's winning the ball game, just go to Joe Cook's Twitter page. That's at Joe Cook Sports. He is constantly tweeting. And again, Reggie and Andrea and Chuck and Alex English, they are in Phoenix. And it's the same deal tomorrow. If you're going to be out and about tomorrow evening and you can't keep up with what's going on with the ball game, they're on Twitter.
They are.
And they're going to have it all for you right there. Constant updates.
The great thing about following our sports guys and our entire team there is that, honestly, JR, Joe doesn't miss a play.
He doesn't.
You know, and it almost, from your phone, feels like you are following it, like you're there. He doesn't miss a play, and he's such a basketball head because he's a former athlete himself, played college basketball, that he has the statistics. He really speaks to the heart of the game and knows the players. So then tomorrow, we want you to join us for News 19 at 11 for a 3-hour Gamecock Madness special. Wake up with us tomorrow morning.
That's right. It's News 19 Saturday morning at 11. Then our Gamecock Madness special really kicks into high gear at noon. We're going to have reports tomorrow from Phoenix. Hopefully, we're keeping our fingers crossed that the women will win. We'll have some live reports with Joe Cook in Dallas. And don't forget, the only place to watch the Gamecocks take on Gonzaga in the Final Four at 6 o'clock tomorrow night is right here on WLTX.
Well, that is going to do it for this News 19 special report.
Be sure to join us for News 19 at 11. We'll have highlights of the Gamecocks and Stanford. We'll see you then.